Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates.
Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Kia Seltos iMT, but before we reach this car, let me show you this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve Rainforest Spring Water, which smells like a cool waterfall, brings instant freshness in your car. And you know what, it's very value for money, because if you're not using your car very frequently, you just spray it on the weekend in your car to bring instant freshness inside. Now straight away we are going to be opening the engine bay. Now why am I reviewing a Seltos right now? Because this is finally the most popular engine of this car, which I'm reviewing, the 1.5 litre naturally aspirated petrol. There is no insulation there. This is the mid-level HTK plus trim. The lower trim happens to be HTE, which is the base trim, and there's the HTK. This is the HTK plus. Over this, there's the HTX and the HTX plus. And then with this engine, you do not get the GTX, the GT line, as well as the X line. But this is the Tech line. And let me tell you that the lights are a bit different. You know why? Because it does not get all LED DRLs. I mean, yeah, why you know all LED DRLs I'm saying? Because this does not connect here like it does on the higher trim for a nice long wide LED DRL. Only this is the DRL actually, which is the only LED element, because everything else is halogen. Indicator is here. On the higher trim, indicator is actually here, but instead here we have got a projector setup, and the fog light also gets a projector setup. You don't get those cube effect lights here, no. So quite a lot of things are different on this variant, but the price of this is actually very value for money. 15 lakhs 4,000 on road Mumbai, and the kind of features you get for this money is actually very nice. So yes, little bit different on the front. On the side, you will realize that it gets smaller wheels, but these are alloy wheels. Yeah, that's right, alloy wheels. In fact, the tire size happens to be 205 65 16s. Now the alloy wheel design isn't as dramatic as the 17 inches, and the X line actually gets 18 inches. But hey, this has higher sidewall, which is appreciated. Now you get this body cladding. It says IMT here, and it does not get rear discs. Yeah, rear discs are actually missing, which obviously affects the braking performance of this car. There's a request sensor here. Let's come to the rear. Again, you do not get LED elements, but you know what? That's fine. Not everybody notices it as much. Fake exhaust, of course, here. The real exhaust happens to be somewhere there, and you get parking sensors at the rear. Now, obviously, higher trim obviously gets 360-degree camera, front parking sensors, and a lot more features. But this car has adequate amount of features. You get a rear wiper washer. There's a high-mounted stop lamp. That is a shark fin antenna. This doesn't seem functional. The roof rails, of course. And there is, of course, a camera here. Yeah, there is the camera. Now, the boot is decent size. Somehow, this thing has got broken, so I'm not able to secure it here. But yeah, it's a decent sized boot. And spare wheel is obviously not an alloy. It's a full-size one, though. That does not split in 60-40. It's a one-piece split. I just push it, and there you can recline it. It kind of goes almost flat. And here we're going to shut this. The new Kia logo. There's a reflector here. Anyways, let's come to the rear. There's no request sensor. Actually, I was talking. Let's come to the rear seat. Wow, they've actually given it a sun blind for the mid-level variant, which is actually quite nice. Door pockets are big enough. Seat folds completely flat. I'm just going to put it back. Now here they have not given any adjustable headrest. Center passenger does not have a head only, so no headrest only for him. And the floor is almost flat. And here you get a regular USB charging socket. You get rear AC vents. You get some storage here. Legroom and kneeroom is actually nice. Under thigh support is okay. It's not that great, especially for someone as tall as me. And headroom is just about adequate. Okay, there is decent amount of headroom. There's a handle to hold on to, and it gets height adjustable seat belts. You know what? The top spec Honda City does not get height adjustable seat belts. So good job, Kia. There you can see the dashboard design. Looks quite nice. Again, you know, certain things are smaller here. You get a light placement here on the top, and these seats are made of fabric. The higher end variants obviously get leatherette, and they get proper adjustable headrest. Even a center passenger finally gets a head. Parcel shelf is huge. You can keep so much stuff there. No magazine holders here, sort of scooped out, but no magazine holders. Lot of, oh no, this is not hard. This is actually soft, and this does not slide in any of the variant though. But hard plastics are also plenty in this car. Let's get out. I like the way they've designed this around the speakers. That's kind of cool and nice. Let's shut this. Shuts with some reassuring feel actually. Anyways, here is the IMT badging to tell you. This is the IMT variant. Now, it does not get electric adjust for the seat. Okay, full illumination is not here. And door pockets are big enough at the front, but you know what, you get electric adjust for the outside rear view mirrors. This is for the illumination. This is actually for the engine start button, so it gets a push button start as well. You get a dead pedal there, although you don't have a clutch. And yeah, seats are actually quite comfy. Only thing is under thigh support is a bit lacking for someone as tall as me. Now, first things first, I am just going to put this tag here. Very easy to slot it. There it has slotted, and I'm just going to spray it twice. That's how easy it is. I said twice, I sprayed it 4 times actually, because the smell is so amazing. Now it brings instant freshness inside the car. I really like it. So here we're just going to shut this and secure it. Yeah, you're going to secure it here. So twin cup holders. There's some storage space here as well. Oh my god, this is smelling so nice. I love the smell. It's like instant freshness for sure. Let's turn off the hazard light. Nice treatment. I kind of like it, but hard plastics. Okay, this is not really very hard, but hard plastics are lower down. Glove box is decent sized, and wireless charging pad has been removed. It doesn't get ventilation for the seats. It gets a climate control air conditioning system, which is a nice touch, and air conditioning is actually a chiller. It gets a sunroof, and there it is, the sunroof. We're going to open the sunroof, so I press this button. Okay, yeah, there it opens. So mid-level trim, getting a sunroof is a nice touch. Press it once again to open it completely. Yeah, that is extremely nice to get a sunroof at this price. And there you get a mirror. Now the quality of this is not the best. You don't get anything here, a strap maybe, and here you get a sunglass holder. There's a light placement here on the top as well. No connected car bits. In fact, this mirror is not auto dimming. Otherwise, on the top end trim you get auto dimming with buttons here for the connected car features. So that is not there. Now this is a smaller screen. This happens to be an 8-inch screen. In the top variant you get 10.25-inch screen. You know what, I don't miss it because you get physical buttons here. You do not get physical buttons on the top end trim. So that's actually nice. I straight away get into radio. Audio quality is actually decent, yeah. And you know what, let's get into reverse. So here we are. This is the reverse parking camera. It gets adaptive guidelines, but you know what, quality is okay. It's not the best, but still it's actually good enough. Here there's some storage space. There's a 12-volt charging socket, USB, another USB, no USB-C in this car, and obviously the Hyundai keys, Honda keys. So the Kia key is actually very different. By the way, is the key? It's in my pocket. So the thing is that the Seltos has got a facelift with a new dashboard that looks amazing, and obviously it's freshened up on the outside also. But this car's dashboard, it's a love it or hate it feeling, and mostly people will love it because the overall design is nice. So this is the key of the vehicle. This is to lock the car, this is to unlock the car, this is to turn on the vehicle. Yeah, it has got that feature, and this is to open the boot of the vehicle. So it's a very different key when compared to the Hyundai key. There is the Hyundai key. Why it keeps falling, I don't know. Yeah, there you can see that the Hyundai key. Yeah, new thinking, new possibilities. Anyways, this is the gear lever. So yeah, it's very easy to use this IMT thingy. Handbrake, physical one. Hard plastics are there plenty, but you've got cruise control, you've got audio controls and all that. So steering mounted buttons as well. Horn, it's decent actually. It's nice and loud. So here also this is 3.5-inch. Top variants get 7-inch screen. So slightly different instrument cluster as well, but it's kind of easy to use, and there you can browse through multiple things. It gets a tire pressure monitor as well. So yeah, Kia has given it decent amount of kit for the price. Let's just shut this and we're going to lock the car. Let's see if I'm able to turn on the car by keeping this button pressed, and there we keep it pressed. Okay, yeah, and there you go. Yeah, it turned on. Wow, this is such a nice feature. I really like it. Let's drive. Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning off the air conditioning, and we are going to actually turn off the lights or on. मतलब कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, तो doesn't matter, we can keep them off actually. It has got automatic lights by the way, and wiper test. So we are actually going to get into all menus. By the way, you can see sound mood lamp. Yes, it's got ambient lighting as well. How cool is that? It says party time. There's no party time. I have to vlog very seriously. Get serious, Seltos. There's voice memo, so you can actually record audio, and there's a quiet mode as well when everything is kind of silent and shut. But it has got a driver rear view monitor, so we are going to put the handbrake down into first gear, and then we are going to engage driver rear view monitor. Oh, that's so amazing. By the way, it has also got side airbags, so 4 airbags in total, and revving the motor, hazard lights off, and off we go. Red lines around 6,500 RPM, doors auto locked if you notice that, and there on full pelt. Engine actually has some amount of noise in the top end of the rev range. Takes a shift to third to reach 100 kilometers per hour, which by the way takes 13 seconds, actually 13 and a half seconds to be precise. This is actually slower than both the manual as well as the CVT, because you know what, you can't change gears as fast as you can do in a traditional manual, and even with the rubber band effect, the CVT actually shifts gears faster than an IMT. So that is the problem of an IMT. Now the thing is, this is the 1.5 liter engine, and most people end up buying the Seltos with this engine only, even the Creta for that matter, because obviously it's the cheapest engine in the whole lineup, because this is a naturally aspirated 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine which produces 115 PS of power or 113 horsepower. horsepower, and the torque output is 144 Newton meters. So yes, on paper the numbers are not that amazing, and in real also they're not amazing actually, because it's just average. Honestly, performance is kind of average here, but gets the job done. Firstly, this engine is super refined lower down the rev range, you can't feel anything, and then it's peppy enough to give you good amount of low end punch and grunt, and then in the mid range it obviously feels more exciting because overall power delivery is very linear. So yeah, it pulls nicely in the mid range. You just cannot compare the grunt in the mid range of this engine with the turbo petrol engine, because obviously when turbo kicks in here, obviously you get a nice thrust and a pull. That does not happen here. So mostly power delivery is very linear, and the top end now it becomes quite noisy. So past 4000 rpm it doesn't really have much to offer, and then it becomes very vocal as well, and that's where you realize the NVH is not great. But for most people this engine gets the job done because smooth and refined engine. It's mated to 3 gearbox options, either a 6-speed manual or a CVT box, which is known as the IVT, and an IMT, which is intelligent manual transmission. Let's quickly talk about IMT. Firstly, why are we stuck in a jam? What's wrong with the whole traffic situation today? We are stuck in a jam, so we are in second only, so I should be able to pull nicely. And yeah, there's a speed breaker. Not an issue here with speed breakers because obviously ground clearance is ample enough. I'm going to get into first and rev the nuts out. Yeah, so basically what IMT does is it already has a clutch here. So you move the gear lever a bit now, it automatically activates the clutch, and it's very smooth operation. Yeah, you know, it's very effortless to drive this car because look at this. I can do it with my pinky finger. I can shift gears with my pinky finger. That is the level of smoothness on offer. It's like unbelievably smooth. Yeah, this is amazing. This IMT tech is basically having its own internal clutch which does the clutching for you. You just have to shift gears regularly without having to bother your left feet. So it gives relief to your left foot, which is good. But there's a problem. You know what? Subconsciously we are wired to shifting gears when we engage the clutch. Okay, at least people who have been driving for some amount of time now, they have that in their muscle memory. Whenever they have to, you know, shift the gear, they will obviously clutch before that, and in automatics they don't bother doing either of this. Now this is a mix, it's a hybrid of both. So what happens is that unless and until you're conscious about shifting gears, you end up not shifting them and thereby drinking a lot more fuel. So here, like supposing I'm driving in second gear, and now since I think it's an automatic, I'm not operating my left foot, so I forget to shift gears. Why? Because a person who really isn't enthusiastic about cars ends up buying an IMT, and now this person really cannot be conscious about shifting gears because he's thinking about what my wife has cooked for dinner, has my son finished his homework or not, what is the kind of politics which is happening at office, how do I pay my this month's EMI, where do I go next vacationing, how do I make an excuse to not reach the gym today. So he cannot consciously keep thinking about shifting gears because his mind is already somewhere else, and that is the problem with an IMT. Honestly, initially IMT feels exciting. You know what? Wow, it's a new tech, it's something different. I'm going to try this, I'm going to have so much fun. But as you keep driving, you start getting used to the system, and at times you keep forgetting that you need to make a shift of gears also, and that is where the problem happens. The car will return a mileage of 9 kilometers per liter. Right now it's saying 9.3 kilometers per liter on the instrument cluster, but you have to be a little conscious while driving, otherwise you are just going to forget that you need to change gears, and that becomes a very big issue, ending up drinking more fuel. So I really don't know, like IMT in that regard. Almost 3-4 years before Kia entered India, they had done a research where they had called me and they had blindfolded me. Not really blindfolded me, that they had actually, you know, blindfolded the logos of the car. They can't blindfold the logos of the car, they actually blurred them and put stickers on it, and they made me drive cars with IMT to take my feedback of how this technology would work in India. And honestly, it's a very cost-effective version and gives you the best of kind of both worlds. But only thing is, since you cannot dump the clutch, you cannot launch it aggressively. Even this car has traction control and all that, it doesn't need it because it's never going to spin its wheels, because this gearbox will never let me launch it, and that's the reason why it's slower from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour when compared to the manual or compared to the IVT version of this engine as well. Now you can see, you can feel a bit of the road noise, especially on expansion joints. There's some amount of movement. The thing is, this car is set up on the stiffer side, and that stiffness can be felt almost every given moment. Okay, downshift now, Faisal, what are you doing? Time pass, you're doing what? Your third gear. So you can feel that stiffness at lower speeds, and as you increase the speed, the overall ride definitely becomes better, but that stiffness is very much apparent. This car rides better than the higher end variants because this runs on higher profile 16-inch wheels, and that really helps the cause that, you know, additional sidewall is of great benefit as well. And there I'm pulling it. This engine is not enthusiastic, but you know, for most people it gets the job done. That's the reason most people end up buying this particular car with this engine. Now the thing is that the Seltos range actually starts at 12,06,000 rupees, and it goes almost around more than 22 lakhs actually for the top end X line variant. So basically the Creta actually starts 34,000 more for the base variant, and it is slightly under 22 lakhs because you don't get all that funky matte color options on the Creta, but you get the night, means with the K, not with the N. Yeah, so that night edition is our top variant of the Creta. Creta comes in 27 variants. This car comes in 24 variants because there are 3 engines. There are, oh god, how do I even calculate? There are 5 transmission options because, you know what, this one, obviously I told you 3 transmission options, and then that manual is common through the 3 engine variants, which is a turbo petrol 1.4 and a 1.5 diesel. And 1.5 diesel also gets the option of a 6-speed torque converter, and the turbo gets the option of a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. Really, Kia Hyundai has gone overboard by offering us almost everything possible under the sun in terms of gearbox options, which is quite nice and very appreciated as well. The steering is actually on the lighter side, and you know what, at low speed it's very light. It does weigh up as you speed up, but the problem is it has no feel or feedback, so it's not really very enthusiastic to drive. Body roll is well contained, handling is okay, it's actually good enough for most people, but the problem is not really a corner carver, so it's better than the Creta in terms of handling. The Creta is better in terms of ride because the suspension is softer there, but again, it's kind of neither a great handler, neither a great rider. Rider is not the right term, but in terms of ride quality, and because it is lacking rear discs, the braking performance is also affected a bit. So we are going to do the brake test, which means hazard lights on. Here we are on the left side, and there I am going to come to second gear. Oh my god, look at this, and onto the brakes, and here we go. Oh god, that is with ABS. That's how it stops, not reassuring. Oh, did I stall? It doesn't stall also. Here we are in neutral. So now I have left, okay, I'm in first gear. I have left the brakes and it will crawl ahead very smoothly. Okay, we'll keep the hazard lights on because we are crawling at really low speed. So it's like crawling around 7-8 kilometers per hour. By the way, it does not have hill hold assist, so it will roll back like a manual does. So that's something you have to be careful with. But then since it doesn't stall, you can apply the brakes as well. And here into second. So I'm not going to be using the accelerator pedal at all. Even being in second doesn't really help because the speed is the same. Get into third, and it's actually not making any sound. It's still moving in third without making a ruckus here. So we're going to get into fourth, and now we are into fourth, and the car is at around 10 kilometers per hour. It's still not making any sound, saying that you're in the wrong gear. We are in fifth right now. Now I've come into sixth. My goodness, why is the car not making any sound? I know it will once I get onto the accelerator, because that's when the clutch part will come into play. It says please shift down. Okay, so when you're not in the right gear, it will automatically, you know, keep making that sound to tell you should be in the right gear. So here we are. Now we are going to get into first gear, and I'm going to try and launch it cheekingly. Hazard lights off, revving the motor, and off we go. The IMT is just not exciting enough, and you pay 47,000 rupees more for the IMT when compared to the manual. So it's like cheap thrills or cheap convenience, because for 47,000 more you get sort of the convenience of an automatic. Only thing is you have to shift gears. That's a bit of a problem if you tend to forget that you have to shift gears, because that's how we are hardwired about, you know, clutch and gear go hand in hand, or neither of those. Don't know. Yeah, well, either side is very polarizing. You can't have the middle ground, and this is the middle ground, and once you get used to it, I think it will become much better. Only thing is, if you don't shift gears at the right time, the car is going to consume a lot more fuel, because you're going to rev the nuts out of it for no reason at all. Now, the Creta's equivalent variant happens to be the S IMT 1.5, which is priced 15,000 rupees more. So very similar. This is 15,04,000 rupees. Now the thing is that safety has been an inherent issue of Hyundai Kia cars in India, because they do not like excel as much as say Tatas or Volkswagens and, you know, other brands which are putting a lot more effort in making sure that the cars comply with global NCAP norms. Obviously these meet Indian norms, but yeah, I believe that with the facelift, hopefully Kia will be able to make it more safer. I'm not sure if body panels are being changed, but it would not take them much of an effort to actually make it comply with global NCAP 5-star rating, and I hope they do that, because the car is absolutely fantastic. The middle ground works quite well here, and especially quite a lot of features as well, and I'm saying quite so many times I feel so embarrassed, so I'm going to say very feature loaded for the price. For 15,04,000 rupees on Mumbai, you actually get a car which offers decent amount of kit and is bigger than any other top end variant of sub 4 meter compact SUVs available in the market today. So this is actually much cheaper than the Brezza. And I know it misses out on 360 camera, it misses out on front camera, side camera. Okay, I'm just buying time to remember what else the Brezza has. Okay, so heads up display is also missing here, but you know what, it's a much better car than the Brezza and cheaper too. So no issues buying the mid-level trim because it is quite well kitted as well. So here around the corner, you can see it does move quite a bit, even though the suspension is on the stiffer side. It's not really a car which stays very glued to your line to push it hard around corners. But then again, this is not the purpose it serves. My only gripe with day one has been that, you know what, Hyundai cars have been known to be very soft and not offer great driving dynamics, which they have resolved with the N9. But you know what is the problem here which I face? Hyundai has gone for a softer suspension setup, where we know that the ride is the emphasis here. Kia has gone for a stiffer setup, wherein the ride goes for a toss and the handling is also not that great. So you know, you're not getting the best of both worlds, but only thing is it's a little different in terms of driving character when compared to the Hyundai option in the market, that is. And around the corners, yeah, it maintains its line tires, offer decent grip as well. So guys, this is my vlog of the Kia Seltos iMT. If you like this vlog, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. You know, I've been just driving in one gear for some time, and then look at the way it revs. It goes absolutely nuts. Yeah, it has to. If you like this vlog, तो बोल चुका हूँ 1000 बार, लेकिन most important thing is, guys, make sure to check out this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses, the Involve Rainforest Spring Water. It's just amazing. I feel like spraying it again because it just makes the car smell so good. And you can click here to get yours with a 10% discount using coupon code FASTBEAM. Bye bye.